Hello, everybody. It's your favorite map reader, Backseat Driver 5280. Good evening to everyone. Going to give it a few minutes for some people to file in. Not seeing anyone in the chat just yet, but we'll see. So I'm going to start off kind of just talking about the ordeal that it took to finally get my books back from CGC. It was not at all the fault of anyone at CGC. This was a delivery person who failed to deliver. So I'm actually going to share my screen. I'll share it in just a minute, but I've had a couple of issues with comics in particular when they show up, or if they show up to my house. Let's see. What's up, Unruly? Thanks for stopping in, man. I'm trying to share some images. I'm going to skip that one. But basically, what's up, Urban Legend? Thanks for stopping in, man. I'm just getting started. Well, obviously, it's only been, a minute? But basically, the mailman or mail lady, whoever it is that delivers our mail, I have yet to actually meet them, which is one thing that's been frustrating me. But they also have, instead of walking the extra 50 feet to my porch, if there are comics that won't fit in my mailbox, which luckily most of the packaging prevents them from being stuffed in the mailbox, but they will instead simply put them between the flap of the mailbox and the housing. Yes, indeed, Unruly. I do indeed. But they will rubber band the lid or the door of the mailbox closed and wrap the rubber band around the flag in order to just kind of hold the comics in between. They're not inside the mailbox. They're just sitting there. They've done that twice, and then instead of going with FedEx or UPS this time, just for better insurance, I went through USPS registered mail. And for whatever reason, the books got there a little bit late on Saturday to the post office, and so they weren't going to make it, which is fine. That's expected. It's not all. Registered mail is not the same as priority. The tracking is not quite the same. It's all every single package, mail, envelope, whatever, is signed for by every single person who takes custody of the item. And so when I saw it was out for delivery yesterday, I got excited, and I was paying attention, looking out for when the postman came. Had to go in the backyard for a bit, and they showed up during that time. There was no package. No one knocked at the door. I left a note on the door, just asking them to give me a few extra seconds. Hey, Kachung, what's up, man? I'm just griping right now about Postman, and then we'll get to the unboxing. But so they didn't deliver yesterday. It said it was out for delivery. And so today I left a different note, this time in the mailbox, because I was not sure which post office was actually mine. So I left this. I don't know if that came up or not, but anyway, so I left a note basically for them, just trying to ask where I needed to go to pick stuff up. What's up, Tina? Thanks for coming in. And so I called the post office because when they showed up, they dropped off a different package that was not registered mail. So they just left it on the porch. Again, that's fine. But then I called, and the clerk at the post office said that the registered mail clerk had told the driver to take the package yesterday, and they just didn't. And so that means that today they again, if it was just yesterday, maybe they forgot. But then again today, they did not. They simply didn't take the package to deliver it to my house. So I ended up going and picking it up, which that's not a big deal either. But the fact that I've just had so many issues. Anyway, let's get to the fun part. So I've got, I believe it's 4 books. You can see the box is already opened. If you saw my Instagram post, then you saw that my wife was kind enough to open these up and tape over all the grades. So I'm going to just take them out of the box and get that out of the way. So let's see. I'm going to go in an order, and let me I'll bring up the Google Doc that I had the estimated grades on. Sorry, I was not prepared for that. I was distracted leading up to going live. All right, so going to again share screen, and hopefully you can see that. Let me. Oof. All right, I'll make that bigger. See if that helps at all. So I wrote value here. It's really supposed to be economy. That was a typo at the beginning. So let me know if you guys can actually see that on the screen or not. It's hard to tell. All right, so those are the books that I sent off. Those are the books that are back. And I'm going to save the Green Lantern 87 for last, I think. Going to make the Avengers 71 second to last. Thor 166 will be second, and we are going to use Marvel Superheroes 13 as the first book. Make sure you can see it all. There we go. Yeah, unruly. I just got the standard mailbox, and it's maybe an extra 75 to 100 feet from the mailbox to my door. So it's frustrating when they aren't willing to just walk that little extra distance. Yeah. So this Marvel Superheroes 13, I am the least confident in my grade estimate on. Trying to show you guys where. Try and find it. Wow. So there's a little bit of discoloration just from fingerprints up here, but the corners are pretty sharp and the spine is in pretty good shape. Honestly, it even looks better than when I sent it off almost. Actually, sorry, one last thing I want to cover. So the turnaround time for this submission, Economy states that it's supposed to be, I think, 23 business days. These books took longer to mail back to me than they did to go through the whole process at CGC. The modern books are still in the received stage, but we'll see how quickly those turn around. But yeah, so nine business days for these books. So the guess was 6.5 on Marvel Superheroes 13. Whoa. Sorry, there's shenanigans going on behind the scenes, or at least behind the camera, that are screwing with me. All right, so I guess it was a 6.5, and again, I have really no idea what it is. Oh. Oh man, that's a good start. 7.5 off white to white pages. And so that 6.5, I was trying to be conservative. I was still nervous that it might actually be lower, but I am ecstatic about that. If you guys have watched any of my videos, which I know at this point all of you have been hanging out and supporting me, which again, I very much appreciate. You know that I love 7.0s and 7.5s for Bronze and Silver Age. And oh man, wow. So that's fantastic. That's really fantastic. Move it off to the side. All right, now Thor 166. So JP was on the live stream with me when I was putting down the guesses on the grades, and I said that I thought this was a 7.0. This one is really just to go with my Thor 165, which is over there off camera. So TJ, there he is. Thanks for stopping in, TJ. I appreciate it. So again, I was thinking like a 7.0. This one I will be least, we'll go with butthurt about if it's a lower grade, but I was pretty confident. 8.5. Cool. Sweet. I know I've said that I don't like 8.0s, 8.5s, but I mean, if it comes back higher than I'm expecting, I am never upset about that. At some point, I might try and upgrade to a 9.2, or I might try and downgrade, get some cash, and downgrade to a 7.0, 7.5. But I'm happy with that. That's making me hopeful for these last two, because the Green Lantern 87 in particular is in better shape than this. So I'm trying not to get my expectations up too much. So it's an 8.5 off white pages. Try not to get my expectations too high, but I like to live high hopes, low expectations. It's a little, I guess, mantra that, okay, I'll stick with mantra. A little mantra I like to go by, live by. So I'll put this back here. Put this one back here as well. All right, so this is the one that I'm most nervous about. The Avengers 71. I really, really, really wanted it to come back 9.2. I put a 9.0 as my guess. I was, again, hopeful for it to be a 9.2 or something, but I am not super confident about it. And I don't know. I just really did not want this to be an 8.5 or below. But let's see what it is. Make sure. Ah, damn it. Oh well. I'll probably try and upgrade it at some point. I really wanted a near mint minus copy of this book, but win some, you lose some. So far, I've won 2 and lost 1, so count myself ahead. And it is off white to white pages. And now that I've got an A5, it might make it easier to find myself with a 9.0 or a 9.2. It's not a super expensive book for that range. Like, if you're looking for a 9.8, yeah, it's pricey, 9.4, 9.6, but all the way up to a 9.2, it's not too hard to find for a decent price. So I'll work on that later on. Just gives me another challenge, I guess you could call it. Alrighty. So the Green Lantern 87. First, John Stewart. He is the Green Lantern that I grew up with, watching the Justice League animated series. I didn't know Hal Jordan existed initially on it, to be completely honest. So I really wanted to get a pretty high-grade copy of this, and I've got a 7.5 creamed off white copy of Green Lantern 59 up on the wall. So I really wanted to get 7075. I got this at a price point that I could afford for it to come back lower and still come out even or on top. Not that I'm looking to sell, but it's just a kind of a challenge I like to put to myself, to never pay more than, including grading fees and everything, to never pay more than a comic is worth. So hopefully got my wish, and holy crap. Oh, damn. 9.2. 9.2. Hey, Comic Bag Musings. Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate you stopping by. I need to assign more moderators, I think. Yeah, I agree on, really. Definitely. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, TJ. Thanks, Herb. Urban Legend. Go with Legend. Thank you, Comic Mag Musings. Oh boy, I can exit out of this now. Wow. Holy hell. I was hoping against hope that it was going to come back higher than my guess. I always try to be conservative with my estimates. But again, high hopes, low expectations. Another cool thing, it's actually got a date stamp. Let's see if I can. My finger is causing, something else. Camera boom is causing shadows in the way. But sorry, I'm really failing at this right now. November 2nd, date stamp. And then a little bit of, I think it's pencil. I don't know, but so 9.2 off-white to white pages. All of these books were cleaned and pressed by Depressing Comics. You can find them on Instagram. Let's see if I can. Yeah, so Depressing Comics, he's a local guy. He is who I trust to press all of my comic books. And as you can probably tell, he gets the results. Yeah, I'm a big fan of date stamps. It was the one thing that almost prevented me from trading away my 6.0, 6.0 copy of Thor 165. But yeah, I understand not liking the date stamp. I actually kind of like that it's on the back, so I have it, but it's not covering up anything on the front. Tina, breathe. Yeah, it's also been 100 degrees plus for almost the entire day. I ran 7 miles this morning, and it's hot out. It's only been 20 minutes. DJ, I'm not crying. You're crying. I kind of briefly mentioned it earlier, but I take pride in, like, I like to challenge myself and try and find these books raw, whether it's in the wild at my local comic shop or if it's even on eBay or Instagram. So actually go through where I got all these. So this Green Lantern 87, I actually got at Zapp's Comics via Instagram. So shout out to them. I found out about them from I Got Issues. Actually, I guess I saw them posting, and I asked him, because I knew he had been there before, and I asked him to vouch for them. I had no idea who they were or anything. Didn't know they were an actual shop until I talked with him. But I got that late last year, I believe. So thank you to those guys. Huge shout out. I am extremely happy with that one. The Avengers 71 was an eBay buy. It had been sitting there for a certain price for months, and it had renewed like 4 times with a buy it now. So I just messaged the seller and asked him. I made an offer via just a message, and he accepted. Can call it the Reggie method, I guess. Although I realized that this was okay to do by watching We Love Comics, Chris over at We Love Comics. He is all about reaching out to sellers on eBay and making sure that they're going to package up the books correctly, asking if they're willing to take lower than whatever their buy it now is, even if there's no best offer. If you're polite, then most of the people are not going to get upset with you, even if they think it's a lowball offer. There are some that are still going to take it personally, but not many, or not as many. The Marvel Superheroes 13 was also an eBay buy. My local comic shop got in a massive collection of really high grade books. January, maybe February. And one of my buddies that I go there every Saturday with picked up a really nice looking copy there, and I realized that it was a really good time to be buying Captain Marvel stuff because no one cared about her at the time anymore. No one cared about Carol Danvers like 6 months after the movie, and I know that there's a sequel coming out. No, has not popped up yet. I see your next comment on YouTube Unreal. I just can't click on it to highlight it yet on StreamYard, so I'll give that a second and come back to it. But finally, so I realized it was a good time to buy, and I was able to find that one on eBay for a really good price, especially since it came back at 7.5. And this Thor 166, I had been looking for a copy to match my Thor 165. And again, I'm not a huge fan of 8.0s and 8.5s. I can't really explain it. It's just seeing the number on a slab bothers me. I don't know. It's really weird. I know. I'm an oddball, but I really look for 7075 or even down to like 50. I don't know. There are just certain numbers that I don't really want to have on a slab. It's not necessarily a grade snob because I'm willing to take lower. It's just specific ranges that I don't like to see come back. Anyway, but so I was looking for a copy to match my Thor 165, and a local guy was looking to sell a bunch of books. Initially, before I'd upgraded my Thor 165, it was 7.5. He was looking to sell his copy, but he was asking for like graded prices for an 8.0 essentially, instead of the raw prices that he was actually going to be able to sell it for. Sorry about that. Move it to avoid glare. And so he also had a copy of Thor 166, and I was able to jump on it before it got snapped up. So thank you. I won't mention his name just in case he doesn't want me to. But yeah, so those are the books. Again, Depressing Comics. Find him on Instagram. I can 100% vouch for him. He's pressed every single book that I have submitted, either personally or through my LCS before I got my own account. So before I forget, Unruly's had much better luck dealing with people who have a fixed price vice people who list best offer. Yeah, that's a good point. There are a lot of people who will put up best offer, but then they're only willing to take like 1 to 5% off of their asking price, even if it's an absurd price. They just don't want to let it go. I've been there. I've listed books for too high a price or other things in the past for too high a price because I didn't really want to let it go. But sometimes the people that have listed it as a buy it now they didn't want to initially put an offer option on there, but maybe they changed their mind, and they just haven't gotten around to changing the listing. So Unruly gets what I'm talking about. 8.0's, he's got his sweet spot of 8.0 for Silver Age, 7.0 for big boy books. I feel like most Silver are big boy books at this point. Yeah, so I've been jumping back and forth between subjects, but I really like to kind of challenge myself to spot the defects, even if it's just through pictures, and to get as close to the grade that I'm looking for as possible, vice just buying graded. I know there's less risk in buying graded for sure, and that probably makes sense for more people. But it's part of the thrill of the hunt for me when I'm able to, even on an eBay listing from crappy pictures that I'm looking at on my phone, be able to find the right number of defects to work out exactly what the grade's going to be. Obviously, I'm not 100%. We already saw that I was off by quite a wide margin on actually all of these. Although my hope was for a 9.2 on that Green Lantern, and I was really hoping for a 7.0 on the Marvel Superheroes 13. But the other two, I was off by basically 1.0 and 0.7. So I'm still working on that. But then the other thing that I like to challenge myself with, or that I essentially take as a challenge, is when I see a fair market value on Go Collect, or I see what GPA is, I take it as a personal challenge to find a better deal. Sometimes it bites me, but a lot of times it works out, and mostly just takes patience and persistence. But I find it a lot of fun, and it just is another way for me to enjoy the hobby, and another way for me to hunt. Gonna make some moderators, just a couple. Probably make more later on, but so it's only been about 30 minutes, but it's only 4 books, so most of it has just been me talking, basically bouncing my voice off of the slabs into the microphone for you guys to listen. I know that Geek Aficionado is going live in half an hour. He is also doing a live CGC unboxing. He, for the first time, has not looked at his grades before he's opening the box. So I know that I enjoyed the excitement of finding out. Even if you guys can't see my face, I promise you it's making a surprised look. But so I'm gonna hop over there pretty soon and check out what he picked up, or what he just got back from CGC. I have my modern submission, as I said, is still in the received stage, but I know Burke Family 54 Comics posted on his Instagram story that his moderns just went from received to scheduled for grading, and his got there 4 days earlier than mine. So I'm hopeful that this week they'll go to scheduled for grading. That's 15 books that'll be coming back in that submission. And now that I know a little bit more about how the registered mail shipping works, I might be able to head off my crappy Postman at the past and just go and pick my stuff up. And StreamYard chat is way behind. Ruli is saying, solid set of books. Thank you. And hey, oh, it just jumped. What's up, Boyhood7? I'm just wrapping up. I'll do a really quick recap in a second. Unruly, it's really helpful that my wife is willing to tape over the grades so that I don't see them until I open them with all you guys. Thank you, Urban Legend. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, TJ. Got to scroll up to find your last comment. But yeah, so real quick recap. So you can see most of them. See if I can't just slide these, just slide to the right. So we've got Avengers 71, 8.5, off-white to white pages. And you can try and go back to the previous live stream with JP about, it was mid-June, late June. And you'll be able to see the defects better, but there's a crease across this corner, which was what I was worried was going to bring it down below a 9.0, 9.2. I'd guessed this was going to come back a 9.0. I was wrong, came back an 8.5. It's all right. I'm not too broken up about it, especially because all of these came back higher than I was expecting. Marvel Superheroes 13, 7.5, off-white to white pages. I was expecting it to come back at a 6.5. Again, I was really unsure what these fingerprints were going to do to it. There's not a whole lot else wrong with it, but it is relatively apparent that the issue is there. But especially for a square-bound book, like I think Unruly said earlier, maybe Urban Legend, it's a solid grade for that. So here now is Thor 166, 8.5, off-white pages. I was expecting it to be a 7.075. And then finally, the really big book for the night, Green Lantern 87. Oh, that was close. CGC Blue Label 9.2, off-white to white pages. And I had put on a guess of 8.0. Could not be happier to be wrong about that. So, and I know I keep saying, someone can count up how many times I said it. There it goes again. So I can't, the problem is unruly that you can't tell CGC to just use like priority with signature confirmation. You might already know this might have just been a miscommunication between us two right here, but Thanks, Matt. Yeah, so it's registered mail is more expensive than than UPS or FedEx, but the insurance coverage is up to like, I don't know, $25,000 or something. Whereas if you have CGC shipped through UPS and FedEx, it only is going to be insured for up to $100 total. It's $100 per package that they insure that for. And I'm probably, especially with the slabs that I've got now, and the sheer number of them, I'm probably going to go through that collect insure and get them just insured myself, so I don't have to worry about that nearly as much. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I wish they gave you more shipping options, but at the same time, I don't blame you. If you had too many options, it's going to just cause more issues. So I'm hoping that. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm going to go take a look at the grader's notes just to see if they provided any. Because if you guys all remember, I was very upset with the lack of grader's notes on my last submission. So we'll see. I mean, I expect at least I'm hoping 3 of the 4 have grader's notes. I'm hoping all 4 have grader's notes. I'm expecting 3 of them too. So with that, Depressing Comics pressed all of these. Zap Comics is who I got the Green Lantern 87 from. Just want to shout those guys out. Thank you to my wife for taping over the grades for me. And don't forget to go check out Geek Aficionado in 24 minutes over on his YouTube channel for more of the same, but I think there are going to be more books. So for now, see you guys in the chats. Sorry, Two Brothers Comics, closing out. Have a good one, guys.